So, meine Damen und Herren, das ist heute in Charleston im US-Bundesstaat South Carolina. So, meine Damen und Herren, heute sind wir in Charleston im US-Bundesstaat South Carolina. Und hier verschwindet gerade ein Maersk-Containerschiff. Einfach beeindruckend.
Wollte ich jetzt nicht stören, da vorne.
Schaut sich der Schulbus fährt schon, wir versammeln einen Schulbus. Wir versammeln einen Schulbus. So, jetzt ist der Schulbus. Jetzt ist der Schulbus vor der Nase weggefahren. Und wir sind nicht drinnen. Na bravo. Auf Englisch, nein, bravo. So, meine Damen und Herren, das hinter mir ist das United States Custom House. Keine Ahnung, was das ist. Aber es sieht recht prunkvoll und schön aus.
Und das Video überwacht.
So, meine Damen und Herren, hier hinter mir sehen Sie das berühmte Carroll Building. Das Carroll Building wurde berühmt durch und deshalb nun wissen Sie das über das Carroll Building.
sind schon richtig.
Ja, Sie sehen, meine Damen und Herren, die hiesigen Taxis haben ein größeres Fassungsvermögen als unsere Taxis zu Hause, aber leider sind sie auch langsamer unterwegs und sie stinken mehr. Da stehen mächtig viele SUVs herum. Es könnte sein, dass das FBI vor Ort ist. Getarnt oder nicht getarnt, wir wissen es nicht. Also ich muss sagen, Charleston ist echt eine liebe kleine Stadt.
Mit 72.000 Einwohnern, mega lieb und klein. Die ist nämlich von außen, wenn es auf die andere Straßenseite umgeht, schaut die wild geil aus, die Kirchen.
Man merkt irgendwie, dass die Zeit da ein bisschen stehen geblieben ist und nicht so stressig ist wie bei uns in Wien oder in Graz. Also das ist echt eine liebe Stadt. Und auch die Leute sind freundlich und lieb. Echter Wahnsinn. Das Mille-Haus. The Shops of Historic Charleston Foundation. Das ist das Geschäft der Fundstücke aus Charleston. Also wenn Touristen etwas verlieren, können sie wieder anfinden. Oder? Das ist der Charleston-City-Market. So, meine Damen und Herren, wir sind jetzt gefühlte 4,5 Stunden durch diesen Market gegangen. Ein Wahnsinn, aber es hat sich ausgezahlt. Und wir haben uns heute nicht verlaufen, wir sind auch nicht zu spät dran. Wir gehen jetzt wieder mal aufs Schiff etwas essen und ausrasten und entspannen. Storch oder nicht Storch.
Gegrillt hat sicher gut schmecken, egal was ist.
Ja.
Gäste hier, 2 Gruppen, ungefähr 18 Gäste, wenn es Bekannte dabei haben, Bekannte gefunden haben in den letzten Tagen, dann gern zusammenbleiben gleich, dass wir dann auch die Tour oder anderen gemeinsam erleben dürfen. Ansonsten gerne schon mal den ersten Abschnitt abtrennen. Genau. Und der wird dann gleich vorne einmal eingesammelt. Wir gehen mal langsam vor und dann haben wir gleich unsere lokalen Guides.
And what we're going to do is try to convey to you some of the ghostly spirits that have evolved over our 346-year history.
Verstehen Sie alle Englisch oder sind Sie das gar kein Englisch von Ihnen? Alle Englisch? Ich würde sagen, es ist ein bisschen authentischer, wenn der Guide ist. Das ist ein bisschen gruselig auch wirken soll. Ich könnte das halt übersetzen, wenn da Unklarheiten sind, aber wenn man authentisch bleibt, sage ich mal. Das wäre für mich, wäre es für Sie okay, dass ich nur bei Rückfragen übersetzt, sage ich mal, und sonst wollen wir sprechen lassen. Ist das okay? Ja, sehr gut.
Do you understand?
Speak slowly, they understand.
Okay. I have been known to try to speed up things because I know where I want to go. Well, anyway, we're going to try and hit upon some of the highlights. Now, I always like to begin with the question: do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Cool.
Really?
Thank you. This is verstehen. It's not a question I think that has really a right or wrong answer, because you can neither prove or disprove. Because, if you believe, you probably can find support for your position, or if you disbelieve, you can find support. But whichever side of the question you find yourselves, I think we can agree on one thing. It is an intriguing topic, is it not? Because no one really knows what happens when you die and you cross over that threshold to go wherever it is we go. Now, I do believe Charleston is one of the more haunted cities in our country for 2 major reasons. Foremost is the history, 346 years of history. We have a lot of good episodes that lead to good ghost stories, especially those involving one of my all-time favorite phrases, untimely death. Seems to quiet at the time. Secondly, is we have such a collection of old buildings. Now, compared to Germany, it's not so old, I know that, but in the United States, it is. We are one of the few cities in our country that has such a collection of old buildings. So the people involved in the event, their spirits, their souls, are more prone to hang around because they feel comfortable. And they can present themselves when the conditions are right. You might want to ask yourselves, is tonight when conditions are right? One never knows, do they? So you might want to grab someone you like, or someone you'd like to like, as we revisit some of those restless spirits of our city's past. And in the immortal words of Aerosmith, walk this way.
Was machen wir da heute, Schatzi?
Geisterwalking.
Geisterwalking.
And every now and then, it happens on a kind of, I like to say, a regular, irregular basis. In fact, our Hurricane Matthew, a couple of weeks ago, exposed some Civil War shells out at Folly Beach. In December of 2014, they were doing some construction work at the College of Charleston and found unexploded shells. So, and then they brought in the bomb squad from the Air Force, because it's the national government's property, not local property. So I always like to say that could be a ghost story in the making. As we go up here, it's see, if you walk on the sidewalk, that'll mean that give you a good image. This building dates 1771. When this was built, all of this was water. And the water, the river left really in the back during high tide. Now this is the Old Exchange and Provost Museum. Said to be the third most historical colonial public building in America, after Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Samuel Hall, and they appear as right with the idea of waylaying we today the same way they were waylaid in the days of old. And according to tradition, if you want an encounter, jingle jangle the coins in your pocket, because it reminds you of the places of light, of the gold, the blue. Be careful what you wish for. Could you handle it? Could you handle it? Could you handle the truth? Excuse me. Carried away. And they made plans to meet in that church over there, St. Michael's. She was supposed to get out of the all-girls school and to meet them. She had a little trouble, but she did. So they remarried. And then it became the question, well, what are they going to do? They're going to run away in the dead of night? No, they did not want to do that. Because they were proud of their bride. They wanted to make a public statement. They didn't want to sneak off into the night. So they made plans that the next day, George would appear at Madame Talbondi's school for girls, where Maria was, and make the public declaration and take her. So the next day, even though others forgave, she couldn't forgive herself. And she has said that really went to an early grave. And in the house, a couple of blocks over where the school was, people report seeing her.
Echte Liebe. Da geht es um echte Liebe.
City Hall is also said to be I don't know if you've actually had an opportunity to sample any of our restaurants, but there are a lot of good restaurants in our city. In fact, that has been the biggest change in our city over the last 10 years. It's elevated Charleston. You know, this past summer, chance of capturing a ghost or a ghost on disc or film with the picture of such than you do of actually seeing one, you know, because the camera eye is probably quicker than the human eye. This story helps bear this out. 1980s, the local couple, Mr. and Mrs. Reynolds, they get a new camera. one with film. You would call it old-fashioned today. It was new to them, and so they wanted to try it out. And they take the whole day taking pictures. They get here late in the evening, and they want to finish off the roll. So Mr. Reynolds takes a few pictures from the front, but he wants a better view of some of the tombstones without some of the obstructions. We can move up a little bit and let these people come by behind you, if you would, please. Anyway, so he takes a few pictures, and then he goes into the, he goes over here to the, it was a playground at the time, and works his way down the wall. And you see where that light is? Just beyond the light, there's another gate. Now, though it was locked, it did afford a better view of the graveyard. And he just wanted a simple picture of the tombstones, nothing fancy. It was a regular camera, 200 speed film, flash attachment. Takes a few pictures, finishes off the roll. When he went to go pick up the picture, surprised you. He got an interesting view. Okay. Okay. Now, when he picked up the picture, he wasn't really sure he was seeing what he was seeing. You know? He said, am I really seeing this? So they did confirm this was a picture. They had no idea who the image was, who the person was. So Mr. and Mrs. Reynolds tried to make some sense. They focused in on the grave she's kneeling in front of, and they found it to be the grave of Sue Howard Hardy, who died June 16, 1888, from complications of giving birth to a stillborn dead child. A little further. Our time together, we brought you back to where we first began, so our time together has come to an end. But before we go, I'll go home in front. But before we go, remember, ghost stories are history with a twist. And there's a lot of twists and turns to our city's history. So take care and beware as you journey about. Stay alert, keep a sharp lookout. For lurking nearby could do what you fear most. Lurking in the shadows could be one of our Charleston ghosts. Stay alert, my friends. And may you have calm seas in your further travel. Come back to see us when you can. Thank you. Hopefully this will give you a little bit of, be a fond memory when you look back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But most important thing I should tell you, you told us a story about witches, and the modern witches still use sleeping pills, not poison.
All right, okay, I'll remember it. Sleeping pills, okay. And they Thank you. Work.
Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Be a lot.
Bye-bye. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you, Markus. Thank you, sir.
So, das war jetzt unser Charleston-Ausflug. Ich hoffe, du hilfst mir noch ein paar Mal übersetzen und schneiden.
Freilich.
Ich habe mich ziemlich auf die Kamera konzentrieren müssen, auf Scharfstellen und so. Das ist bei diesen dunklen Lichtverhältnissen sehr schwer zu filmen. Und somit habe ich vom Text leider nichts mitgekriegt, was der erzählt hat. Aber jetzt haben wir uns, glaube ich, einen Cocktail verdient. Gell?
8 geile Geistergeschichten. Yes.
Also Charleston ist echt empfehlenswert, ja. In South Carolina. So, meine Damen und Herren, wir verlassen nun Charleston. Wir haben den Rückwärtsgang eingelegt und wir folgen den Lotsenbooten hinaus auf den Atlantik.